Welcome to the Templeton Workroom. This here is the room where Ms. Bombino stores all of the supplies and extra materials. At the beginning of the day, Ms. Bombino will usually unlock this door so it's accessible throughout the day. At the end of the day, if you're responsible for closing procedures, you will be responsible for making sure that this room is closed up. So let's take a tour of the room. There are several machines that you'll find in this room. The first one is the laminator. The laminator basically plasticizes covers for book jackets and different materials. Teachers sometimes have their posters all laminated. So this machine here, in order to use it, you will have another segment of video to show you how it works. But the main thing to remember is at closing time you must make sure that this machine is turned off. So how do you know that? Up on the top right hand corner there is a power on off heat button, and that one usually is turned off. So if there are no lights blinking, you know that the machine is turned off. If there are lights on that top right hand corner, all you have to do is come around this side, and at the very back there's a red button with a little switch. All you have to do is turn it off. So this lamination machine is used by staff members and also by CS students that work in the library. The second piece of machinery you'll find in this room is the overhead projector. Yes, we still have an old machine, but this machine sometimes is used in the classroom area outside. If the machine is not in this room at the closing time, it's time for you to find it in the library and wheel it back in. In addition to the two machines, you'll notice that this is also the space where you're going to find a kitchen sink. You'll also find usually a watering can for watering plants. There's also soap and desanitizing for your hands, sanitizer. So please feel free to wash up after you've done jobs like shelf reading or shelving. And there's also the paper towel dispenser. And mainly, in this room is where all the extra supplies are. So there's some colored paper, some extra 3-hole punches. Above the top shelves there are some lamination film rolls. There is a second phone in this room. The reason is if you're working in here and nobody else is in the library, when the phone rings, rather than running back to Ms. Bombino's office to answer it, you will be able to answer the phone from here. Main thing you have to remember is that Ms. Bombino asks that you make sure that there are enough equipment and supplies at the tables outside. So if at the circulation desk you didn't have any paper clips or staples, there are little drawers here where Ms. Bombino stores extra supplies. So if you ran out, you could come back and get some staples, or you could actually get some paper clips. Another one would be for label supplies. I might ask you to come back here and grab me a couple of labels. We ran out at the desk, we might need stuff. The main thing is that you're going to also have here some pencils. These are the little pencils that are at the WebCat station, at the Circ station, where students are taking down quick notes. There are also some erasers. Now this is the back excess supplies. Okay, there are supplies also available at the circulation desk, and we'll show you that during another video clip. There's also a drawer for some tape. And then all the other drawers along the edges, they're filled with the scrap cards. So most often at the Circ desk, you leave me little notes on little cards. If there are no cards at the desk, just come back and grab a batch and refill the supply at the Circ station and at the WebCat station. So again, these are all the extra supplies. From time to time, Ms. Bombino does displays, and she may be looking for the letter sets. In these little pouches in these shoe boxes are different sizes and different colors of letters. So you may be either filing letters or pulling letters out for her next display. The rest of the room is all for storage. It's a shipping area. So we do send books to other places, other schools, and sometimes you'll need an empty box. So in the sides section here, there's a box that has empty boxes that can be easily taped together and set up as boxes. And if you go a little further, you'll notice that there's some more on the other side of the table. And when we send books out for other shipping areas, we normally pack the boxes full. And you'll notice that there are some orange recycle labels on these. Once you've filled the box completely filled, you will then make sure you've taped up and sealed the box on the top, and you will be putting the redistribution labels on them. These labels for your workspace. In a little cubby hole here, there is some scotch tape or some packing tape, pardon me, a pair of scissors, and you'll notice that the orange labels are in a little caddy right next to it. If there are no labels here or you're running out, please make sure you tell Ms. Bombino when the supplies are running low so she can refill. Also in this room is a TV that's hooked up to a DVD player. We still have DVDs in the collection, so if a teacher needed to book this machine, that's the third piece of equipment that you'd find in here. And from time to time, yes, we still have some VHS in the collection. So if at the circulation desk you got a VHS tape returned, but it had not been rewound, we have a little mini machine here that is strictly for rewinding those VHS machine tapes. And then to come full circles, in this room, we talked about the displays. Ms. Bombino has her boxes of all sorts of seasonal displays. And down below, we happen to have drawers. And they are all labeled either English posters or library posters or reading posters, socials. So she might be sending you back here to pick out a poster or two for display. You'll notice right now somebody dumped off a whole batch of posters without filing them. Somewhere along the way you might be asked to file these back in, but normally there are no posters on the countertop. They're all tucked away in their folders or in their drawers, pardon me, by different seasonal themes. The very last thing you'll find in this room is a fridge. So from time to time Ms. Bombino will send you in to help yourself for a juice box if she has any. Otherwise, there is a fridge here, so it's a matter of making sure that there isn't any leakage on the floor to indicate that the fridge has stopped working. There's an exit door out to the hallway that is locked on this side, so you do need a key to get through. And then finally, behind these two carts, right now we're at startup time, so there are lots of things to be filed. We happen to have the school archives, which are the old copies of the annuals. And these are only accessible if you've made an appointment with Ms. Bombino and she knows that you're coming to have a look through. Okay? So we have a limited collection of annuals, and we want to make sure that they all stay proper so that nothing gets cut out of them. So again, that's why access to this material is by appointment only. And we do have some alumni titans that come back to visit, and that's when they'll come in to talk to Ms. B. So this room, at closing time, you make sure that it looks pretty good. There shouldn't be any water running. Things shouldn't be on the floor where anybody's going to trip on them. When it's time to close up, all you have to do is turn off the lights. Puts you in pitch darkness. And then be careful coming on the way out. Now at the beginning of the day, Ms. Bombino locks up the door so that if we had to use this room as a safe haven for code red, the door would always lock on you. But at the end of the day, you're going to remove the door stop, close up the door, and it is locked. And this door stop here, rather than leaving it in the middle of the floor here, we're going to make sure that it is always tucked away close to the cupboard. That way nobody is going to trip on it. The garbage can normally isn't in here, but we've had some movement this summer. Okay, so that is the workroom. So again, at the beginning of the day, Ms. Bombino will open it. If you're on opening procedures and you notice that the door is still locked, please remind her to unlock it. And at the end of the day, as a library monitor, this is one of the areas that you must make sure that is locked up and lights are turned off. So the workroom.